I just beat Minecraft on a random seed in 2 hours, 25 minutes, and 3 seconds, on hard mode, and I did it all without taking any damage. That means an instant reset to a brand new world if I bump a cactus, get shot by a skeleton, or even fall more than 3 blocks. Armor is useless and shields are vital, although in this run, I didn't use mine once. There's no way this is true, right? Well, it's time to find out. So there's a few things to point out straight away. First of all, I named the world, and I just pick a random name. This one was pretty lame, and it was just Future Town. I also changed the difficulty to hard, and I turned cheats on, which I know is super suspicious, but you'll see why I do it once I start up the world. So another strange thing that's happening right now is the loading screen is at 0%, and it's going to jump up to about 60% or something, and the reason why that's happening is I'm tabbed out right now grabbing one of the 2 commands that you're going to see me enter in once the world starts up. Now what these commands are actually doing is the first one sets my health bar to actually 0, or pretty much just down to half a heart, so you'll see my health bar shrink down to 1 heart once I enter this in, and now to make it display properly and just to make everything work correctly, I actually have to give myself poison, which will do exactly 1 point of damage to me, which you'll see when I look at the stats at the end of the run. That's the only damage I take, and that's just to make it display properly and make sure that the next time I take damage, I 100% die from it. So I hope that isn't too suspicious. It's just me entering in the commands to give me half a heart. And so now actually onto the gameplay. What I'm doing now is just looking around for any structures or any good biomes to go explore, and I was actually pretty unhappy with this spawn. I couldn't find anything that great nearby, but what I did spot is a plains biome pretty far off, and I wanted to go check it for some lava pools and for a village. And along the way I'm going to find this really nice mine where I'm able to grab some easy coal, and I'm also able to grab all the stone I'll need without getting attacked by any mobs. So one thing that I'm going to point out right now, since I'm about to do my first edits, is this isn't the full 2.5 hour gameplay, as you could probably tell by the time on this video, but I will have the full unedited recordings in an unlisted video down in the description, and so you'll probably notice that I say recordings, so I really wanted to do this all in one clip. But with this specific run, it ended up working out where it was late in the day, and I ended up taking a break and continuing tomorrow. So there is somewhat of a suspicious break right after I leave the nether, but I try to make it pretty obvious that I'm gonna leave in the recording. I type in chat and I do all that, but you'll see that coming up in the future. And then I also do one other break, and this one is also pretty suspicious. So it's right after I beat the game. Instead of going and looking at the game statistics right after, I actually have a break there because pretty much I was so excited about beating it, I stopped the recording and just ran out of the room. And then I came back and recorded the statistics for this world. And so anyway, back to the game. We got pretty lucky finding a village in this little plains, and so I decided just to grab a few more logs since they're right there, and then I grab a bed so we don't have to worry about the night, and I check some of the chests, and then I take out the iron golem to get some iron. So this iron golem actually dropped as much iron as it could, which is 5 iron, and that was really nice. And I noticed that there was a farming villager, so I went to go look for some hay bales, and I collected some of those so we could do a trade to get our 3rd emerald. And then with those 3 emeralds I was able to buy a cod bucket from a fisherman, and we pretty much had a water bucket without using any iron. And so now I'm pretty much just going around doing some random stuff. I'm looking in some mines to see if I could just find a few more iron so we can make some shears. I also want to collect some more cobblestone because one of the runs I ran out of cobblestone in the nether and it ended up being pretty bad. I'm also going to collect some more hay bales and just random stuff like that. And so I'm finally able to find some pretty easy to get to iron, and I dig down in the grass to avoid getting shot from a random skeleton, but I go down there and we're able to get the iron, and as I'm mining that, I didn't realize but it was getting dark out, so once I break the blast furnace that was producing light, it goes completely dark, and I realized that I should probably be getting to sleep, as now that means that we're gonna have to leave this mine and watch out for any mobs. But I guess we must have still gone to sleep early enough because there really wasn't anything out here and it seemed to be pretty safe. And now that we collected a bunch of iron, which ends up being really useful throughout the run, we were able to make 2 sets of shears and absolutely shred some trees. So I pretty much collected all these leaf blocks to have some stuff to tower and bridge with in the nether, and since we got them, we were pretty much ready to go to the nether, and all we need to do for that is find a lava pool. So I was pretty worried about this, but as I was walking back to the village, we had some awesome luck, and I heard a tiny lava pop and realized that I walked right over an underground lava pool. And that's probably one of the biggest things about this run is there's just so many parts of it that went so smoothly. Like already in this run, I spawned in and I climbed up a tree and I saw plains. I decided to go there. Along the way I found a nice mine with no enemies and had some coal. Then I went to the plains, found a village right away. As I was going back to the village I found a lava pool, and just everything like that really worked out really nicely. But what definitely didn't work out really nicely was this portal. I started to get pretty good at building them, but I don't know what was up with this one. I started out just building all the supports in the complete wrong spot, and once I finally got it all figured out, I placed down the water, not even realizing it would flow out the back, and it was just kind of embarrassing. And right here I realized I never collected any flint for flint and steel, but I remember the gravel almost dropped my head, and we got 2 flint, the first 2 I broke, which was just kind of stupid lucky. But with that I get all my gear ready to go, and we're able to get to the nether. So here we are, in the most terrifying place to have half a heart. So once I spawned in, I noticed the biome is the warped biome, which is pretty nice. I just have to watch out not to look into any enderman eyes, but it's not too big of a deal. And I look up and I notice there's lava pouring down from the ceiling, and it looks like it's gonna go and cover my portal. So I'm kind of freaking out a little bit, thinking of what I should do. And as I watch the lava hit the ground, it almost magically doesn't even come towards the portal, and we're totally fine. And so my brain is kind of spinning around trying to think of what I need to do next. And so I realize I probably won't be needing any gold for a while since we're in a warped biome, and no piglins can spawn in a warped biome. And so I decide that we're just gonna go look around this biome to see if there's any nether fortresses or bastions nearby. And without going too far at all, I spot the nether fortress. After peeking over this tree, I see a blaze spawner right away, but I want to make sure to get some gold boots since I see it surrounded by the crimson biome and a whole bunch of piglins and hoglins. And I'm being super careful not to have a random blaze snipe me right now, and I run up this hill pretty frantically, and once we get up there and explore around a bit, I'm able to find enough gold ore to make our boots. At this point I start to notice the huge potential of this run, and I really start to play it a lot safer, almost too babyish to be honest, and you'll see when I go in to fight the blaze, so it's probably one of the lamest fights you've ever seen. make it back to the spawner, and I make a slow decline back down to the fortress, and once we get down there my brain fries for a little bit, and I finally come up with a plan on how we're gonna break into the spawner. And we made it to the spawner. All I'm gonna do now is replace the roof with leaves, and each time we see a blaze spawn on top, I'm gonna break the leaves below it and bring it down to where we can safely take it out. And this arrow just points to a random particle jump scare that freaked me out. So this blaze rod drop right here is my 8th and final one, and at this point I'm so ready to get out of here. I have a headache from listening to these blaze for so long. I was here for something like 30 minutes, and I was finally ready to go, so my plan was just to take the tunnel back and just to keep mining till I was miles away from this place, to not have to worry about an attack from the giant blaze army I was summoning over here. And it just felt so nice to be away from that blaze spawner and to have all of our blaze rods. And so I started looking for our bastion to get all of our ender pearls, and while doing that I actually found another nether fortress. But pretty much after that blaze spawner, everything felt so safe. And so yeah, that just happened with absolutely no warning, and this is extra terrifying because my last run where I got all my blaze rods, the same thing happened, and while running away I missed my ledge, fell 4 blocks, and that's how that run ended. And so after that traumatic experience, I just AFK'd for 10 minutes just kind of waiting for him to despawn, and by the way, I did count this in my time since the game is running. And after that guy finally gave me a break, I continued the search for a bastion, but I ended up only finding a third nether fortress. So at this point I kind of give up on looking for a bastion and go to plan B of just going back to the warped biome and fighting enough endermen to get all of my pearls. So now we're getting close to the weird point I mentioned at the beginning of the video where I wrap up the world for the day. So what happens right now is I think I got all my ender pearls and I'm gonna go eat dinner, so it's about 7 o'clock right now, and I'm gonna be gone in the recording for about 10 to 15 minutes. But then during dinner my family was talking about watching a movie, so I decided that I'd wrap up what I'm doing on here, and to wrap it up I just escape the nether and get back to the overworld, which you guys will get to see pretty soon. But just before going through the portal, I realized it could be 9 in the overworld, and a single unlucky encounter could be the end of the run. So I'm trying to figure out if it's night and if I should wait, but I decide I'm just gonna go for it. But then I remember that we dug down into this underground lava pool, and we were totally safe hidden inside here. And so this is the point in the run where I stop recording for the day, and so I say in chat I gotta leave for now and I'll continue tomorrow, so to prove that I'm not cheating, I'm gonna throw items everywhere in a chaotic way so it'd be really hard to duplicate. See you tomorrow. And so I throw some items down, but to be honest, it's not really proof for anything. I was just trying to come up with some way that would hopefully be hard to recreate. So now we're back the next day, which is the 27th, and you can see the last time I played was the 26th at 7:30 p.m. as I'm worried that I'm not going to be in the flow of it anymore and I'm just going to take damage by something pretty dumb. There goes the world starting up, and I notice it's still nighttime, but it looked like sunrise was going to be there pretty soon. So my plan is just to camp down here for a little bit until the sun rises, and then I'll just slowly go up to the surface, being careful that no mobs are around. But things seem to be pretty safe once again. So now my goal is to get these Eyes of Ender and work my way towards the stronghold, and along the way I want to collect some feathers so we can make some arrows. I also need to figure out how we could get some string for a bow, and another thing I need is a carved pumpkin, so that way we could put that on our head while fighting the dragon and not have to worry about endermen at all. And what I'm doing right now is I'm going into a village to trade for a bow and some arrows, so we don't have to worry about getting string from a spider. And another thing I want to point out, which happened a while ago, is that we actually have some terrible luck with the Eye of Ender throws. I think I threw 6 eyes, and out of those 6 throws, they broke 4 times. So we finally had some pretty terrible luck. And once we got everything, we were back on the road looking for the stronghold. I ran across another village and it had a blacksmith, but pretty much all the gear in the chests we didn't really need, so I continued on to find this stronghold. And with only 12 eyes left, I was too scared to throw another, so I went to where I knew it pretty much had to be and I started digging down. And there it is, the stronghold. This is by far the farthest I've gotten on any of these runs so far, and I was terrified. Because normally silverfish, they really aren't a big deal, but on this, if you punch an infested block, a single hit from a silverfish, and that's it. So I was so terrified, I knew I had to play this extremely safe, and so that's what I did. And at this point I realized I was out of leaf blocks and I really wanted to have these going through it, so I thought the smartest thing to do was just to go back up to the surface and gather some more. And while I was out here I wanted to check the nearby ocean to see if the stronghold was anywhere in sight, and something pretty bad happened. And I didn't see that little guy, I swam right past him, and I'm just so lucky. And if I would have died by that pufferfish, I think I might just have to delete Minecraft. And I'm just moving through this place being more than extremely careful, and I hear this. And both the lava pops and silverfish hisses together usually means the portal room is right nearby, so I pinpoint where it has to be, and I start digging. And here it is, the one thing we have left. All I gotta do is take down the Ender Dragon. And there it is, Minecraft beaten without taking any damage. So I'm gonna have the stats for the world up on the screen right now. This is the third recording I was talking about, and I'm gonna have the full video down in the description like I said. If you made it this far, I really appreciate it, and if you want to recommend any other challenges like this to do, I'd really appreciate it. But thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye guys.